The lower you are, the harder it is to fall. The higher you are, the easier it is to fall. And man needs to be clothed with God and clothed with innocence and clothed with justice at all times. But this is not enough for him. He needs a support. And the support is given by woman. Now when the devil realizes this, take away the support. And not only take away the support, turn the support against the man and let the support deceive him. And he will turn to nakedness. And this is what has happened in the last 50, 100 years. Man is now turning to nakedness more and more. We know that woman, why does woman dress like man? Why does woman act like man? Why does she smoke cigarettes and curse and have big muscles? Why does she act like man? Because she knows that man is the head. She knows that man is the top. And people through pride want to climb to the top. They want to be, I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to be at the bottom. I want to be at the top. I want to be like unto God. And so the guy who's in charge of cleaning the grease pits, he dreams of the day when he can wash dishes. The guy that washes dishes dreams of the day when he can wait tables. The guy that waits tables dreams of the day when he can become the head waiter. And the head waiter dreams of the day when he can own the restaurant. Each one dreams of the day when they can climb to the next level above them. The guy in solitary confinement wants to have the beauty of living inside of a regular prison cell, and so on. And so the fact is that the woman who is below man, she wants to be a man. Now when the perversion is complete, and we know we are at the end of times, is when man wants to be like a girl. This is when we know that the devil's deception and the devil's work is nearing its completion. We are now at that time. Man is naked, and he is in the garden right now, as Adam was naked in the garden, and he hid himself. He hid himself from God. Who is the one that God spoke to first? The woman. And he said, why did you do this? First he spoke to the snake, and then he spoke to the woman, and then he spoke to Adam. So he went to Adam first. Adam passed the excuse. Adam to Eve, Eve to the snake. And then Christ spoke to the snake and punished the snake. He spoke to the woman and punished the woman. And then he spoke to Adam and punished Adam. And so he went from one to the last and the last to the first. And so the fact is, in the center of it all is in this woman. How is it that a man is going to return from his nakedness and realize that he must not consider his own nakedness? He must not consider his own weakness, but rather God and the truth and the faith. And he must understand that it is God who made this world. It is God who wrote the book of history. It is God who determines all things. It is God who is the one who will bring an end to this present crisis of the church, which in fact is not really a crisis. It is in fact another step in the divine plan of showing his magnificent power. Because God must show all of his magnificences. He must show all of his perfections. He must not only show his innocence, he must show his power to wipe away sin. He must not only show his beauty, he must show his power to wipe away all ugliness. He must show his strength against the enemies. He must show his way to protect his friends. He will show all of his magnificences. He will show all of his omnipotences, all of his powers, all of his perfections. Every one of his perfections shall be shown. And therefore, not only one perfection, but many. And God is now showing his perfections. At this very time, there are souls being protected by God. At this very time, there are souls being prepared for the final fight. And there are the children of Mary under the training at this time. And the Blessed Virgin Mary will come at the precise moment, without having to run, without having to slow down, without having to be distracted along the way. She has determined the moment of a rendezvous with the devil to crush his head at the moment the snake is slithering, and he will slither into the right spot at the right time, precisely when her foot is ready to crush him, at the moment of the crushing that she has chosen, and also at the time, at the place that she has chosen, in the manner that she has chosen. The devil has chosen nothing, and the devil cannot outsmart the Blessed Virgin Mary. The devil cannot outsmart God. We are now at the time where the book of Genesis has come back. For the Alpha and the Omega are the same. The beginning and the end are the same. And that which happened at the beginning shall happen at the end. And we will see for all eternity how God controlled every moment of history, and how every single life was under his direction. And his divine providence guided all, not only his friends but his enemies. To guide the friend is easy, but who can guide the enemy? And our God has the power to guide his enemies. He has the power to make sure that his enemies in no way cause any harm that he will not allow, that they will not step over their bounds in any way. Remember how the devil had to go before God and beg permission to make Job suffer. He had to go before God and ask each of the things that he wanted to do to make Job suffer in order to turn Job against God. But God said to him, all right, you can do this, you can do that. You can even kill his wife and his family. You can make him sick. You cannot kill him. See if he turns against me, for he will not. And the devil said, I can make him turn against you. And the devil tried, but he failed. He failed. It's recorded in the 42 books of chapters, or the book of Job, how the devil failed, and Job remained faithful to God. And so likewise, at the end of times, not one soul that wants to be faithful to God shall be able to be turned away from him. And God's will can never be stopped. And so we see here that we are now back in the times like unto the time of Genesis. So what must happen? The man, he must remember that he has had appointment with God. And he must go and walk with him at the appointed time. He must make sure that God is the center of his thoughts. Now today, men do not pray. They do not pray. The women pray, the men do not. And the men do not pray. They must make God the center of their thoughts. They must make the worship the center of their lives. That they will follow the true faith and not compromise in any way, shape, or form. And that the strength of victory is the victory of the whole of the Catholic Church. The victory of the whole of the kingdom of Christ. Men never have a right. God say to think only of themselves or their own families. That includes every man. St. Thomas Aquinas says, God made woman from the side of man. We know that she was made only from the side of Adam, one man. But he says it in a general way. God made woman from the side of man so that he might show that the human race has only one principle. Only one principle. And that principle is man. He did not do this with the animals. He made the animals male and female separately. But man, he made man first. And then he made woman from the side of man. In order that he might show that man is the principle. Man is the one who is the head. Man is the one who is the principle of the human race. But man cannot fulfill his role as the principle of the human race without the support of woman. And Adam came to God and said, Lord, I cannot do my work, not the external works, but the great work of procreation, the great work of extending the kingdom, the great work of growth. This work he could not do without woman. Therefore God gave to him woman, that he might be able to have children, that his kingdom might be able to increase, that he might be able to spread the kingdom of God. A man without a woman is doomed to be alone. A man without a woman cannot grow. He cannot increase. He cannot wax strong. He can do external things. He can make money. He can take care of his house until he dies. But he cannot increase. He cannot increase. And there cannot be any growth or continuation of life. God gave therefore to Adam woman to support him in his work of life. And so therefore there is no possibility of a man fulfilling this work unless he recognizes first he is naked, without the love and adoration of God and the true faith. And secondly, he needs the support of woman in order to fulfill his work. And the devil therefore is trying to destroy the woman. And what are we going to do to fight against the devil? We bring back the woman. The woman who formerly was deceiving man and was used by God, by the devil, to deceive man. So the woman must come back and strengthen man. And here we find that since we are in the time of the final corruption, during the time in which man is trying to imitate woman. Man is trying to dress like woman. Man is trying to think like woman. Man is trying to act like woman. Because she's now the one in charge. A feminine society is a satanic society. The devil, as St. Ignatius tells us, acts like a woman. Christ acts like a man. God acts like a man. The devil acts like a woman. And a society run by women is a demonic society. God did not want such a society. The society is meant to be run by the principle which is man. But this man cannot run